Amex, Amex, Amex.
Huge changes at Amex across the board. Lots of free money or offers to earn money. All of that coming up right now on MTM Travel.
Hope you all like Amex.
So happy Thursday. A lot of Amex news this week with credits and all that. We have offers where people can grab some relatively easy money as well. But hopefully everybody caught up with your Bermuda adventures on Tuesday's show. A disaster of a trip and also a spectacular trip.
Yeah, it really was like the best, worst trip. I mean, it wasn't really bad. Everything worked out, and the kids didn't have any meltdown. Nobody complained, which was pretty cool, even though everything that happened. And no, I have not rebooked any trips since the last video. So people that complain about that are okay out there. But no, it ended up being a fantastic trip. Like I said, during it, I was trying to just get back home because I figured it was going to be a whole nother day before we got back on a flight out there. And, doing all of that for just 2 days in Bermuda didn't seem worth it. But I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad we got to see it because we really love the place and can't wait to go back.
So check out that video. He does reviews of the hotels he stayed at, also the Hyatt Regency at JFK, the flights, all of the things that went wrong, what he loved about Bermuda, and everything else. So if you've ever been planning on a trip there, and you should, it's an incredibly beautiful place that we both found to be friendly. And I only had a day there years ago, and I've been waiting to go back. And your whole trip just reminded me of how much I loved it and how much I don't know. I've said this like 1,000 times in the last month, the Bermuda Triangle, but you just grow up hearing that, and then you go places, and that's when travel becomes real. Another moment for me was like the Great Wall of China or the Eiffel Tower. When you're at places that you've always seen your whole life and you've always thought about your whole life, whether it's just a name or some weird triangle where ships disappear, or it's, the Great Wall of China. Either way, truly meaningful when you actually get to go to those places.
Yeah, and it's like we said, it's crazy that was like such a big thing in the 90s, unsolved mysteries. I remember seeing shows and articles and all this stuff about the Bermuda Triangle, and now nobody hears anything. My kids are like, "What are you talking about?" So it just kind of moved out of mind, and it was funny that the people that live there are like, "Oh, do you guys get a lot of ads? We spend a lot of money on ads, but we don't see the tourism." And I said, no, we don't get any Bermuda ads, which blows my mind. And it just feels like it's kind of overlooked. I mean, it's a super easy flight from anybody on the East Coast, still fairly easy from the Midwest, just as easy as getting anywhere in the Caribbean for most people. So it's just kind of crazy that it's not more visited.
I think the Bermuda Tourism Bureau should hire us after all the talking that we've done. But yeah, check out his entire show, the entire story, the flights, the cancellations, the rebookings, the fancy hotels. Is the Fairmont Bermuda absolutely stunning? You'll have to go see that show to find out. But this is our Miles and Points show, so we're going to talk Miles and Points news, starting with some good news. I mean, one of the best ways for people to earn American Express points, obviously welcome offers, no lifetime language, but referring friends. And if you have a spouse or a P2, referring each other back and forth has been very lucrative. But the way that they always did the referrals is weird. They would have this hard cap of like a certain amount of miles or dollars or whatever, but then they would also give you increased offers. So sometimes the increased offer, you could only get like 2.5 referrals. What is a half a referral? So now they've basically changed it to a limit of 5 referrals in a year. And for most people, that's actually going to be an improvement given the normal referral amount. But for some cards, that would actually be less. So there you go.
Yeah, they changed it. And the cool thing is this started on April 8th, and they reset everybody's clock. So if you already had a couple referrals earlier this year, or maybe you already bumped up to that 100K cap, you've been reset. Now you get 5. And I mean, most of these are like 20,000 points or above for most people. So you're getting 20,000 membership reward points if you refer your gold card or business gold. And it goes up to like 40K at sometimes. And like you said, sometimes you'd get 40K, and then you'd get 20K for the third one. And you're like, oh, this kind of sucks. Where now you'll get 40K for all 5 if you can do it while you're getting that type of offer. And I think a lot of people are in that 25 to 30K on at least one of their cards. So you're doing better than the 100,000 point cap that used to be there. Now, if you have a lower end card that's only giving you 10 or 15,000, like a Blue Business Plus or a Delta card or Hilton or something, then you're going to come out below the 100K cap. But most times you're skipping over those cards anyways and using one that's a little bit better. And that's the other good thing about Amex. Like if you're referring a membership rewards card, you can do a business card and they can still sign up for a personal, or you can do a membership rewards card. They can sign up for a Hilton card and you'll still get your membership rewards points. Like it's very flexible within the system. The only downside is like if you have a co-branded card, like a Marriott card or a Hilton card, you can only refer to that brand.
Yeah, and that makes sense given their contracts, but they made it easier and better. And I think that the vast majority of people in this hobby are earning some sort of points via these referrals, whether it's friends or spouses or just being strategic about it. I think of all the referral programs in the credit card space, I think this is the one that most people are using. And I think that this just simplifies it. And as you said, because you can use different cards and stuff, vast majority of the time you're coming out ahead. And I think it also just makes it simpler too, and it allows them to sort of change the language of giving you increase. It just never made sense to be like, oh, you can max out at 2.5 referrals. So this just streamlines it and probably makes it easier for people to refer more while also working within their business constraints. So I think probably a win for everybody.
Yeah, one of those few times that the rule change kind of works out and it's good for everybody. And even if you like, if you're in pop up jail and you can't get a welcome offer, or you've already had the card before, like I've said many times, we each have three Surpass cards. If there's no lifetime language offer for you to use or see if you're targeted for, then getting a referral from your spouse, even if you don't get the sign up bonus, but you really want that card for the earning structure, the perks, whatever it be, you'll still get the referral points from your significant other. So it's kind of a way to get like a sign up bonus without a sign up bonus. It'd be great if you could get both, but that doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, a lot of people utilizing that strategy. So don't overlook it. Another story with Amex this week is Delta Amex airline incidental credits. Are they not posting correctly? Some of the strategies people are using. What are we, like a couple weeks into like not working right or waiting for data points?
Yeah, it's starting to seem more and more like this has been shut down, and it's the Delta. One of the loopholes was if you use a flight credit or a Delta gift card as a partial payment, and then the rest of the charge on your credit card is for under $250, then it would work towards the credit. The other one was if you booked an award flight, the award taxes and fees usually would trigger it too. It seems like both those things aren't working. They haven't been working since like late March ish, and people are waiting. It's still kind of within that window that it's possible they could make the credits. Normally it takes a couple days, sometimes it takes a week or two, but it just seems like after the United Travel Bank loophole closed, this is Amex going after the next biggest fish out in the sea. I think United Travel Bank was the number one use. Delta bookings was probably the second use. And this is why we always encourage, as soon as the clock strikes midnight on January 1st, you should be using these credits, because at any point they can change the terms again or close loopholes.
Yeah, I am somebody who's never been good at that, but for some reason this year I did. So I used up all my credits at the beginning of the year, thankfully. It does. I mean, the interesting thing about this whole discussion has been for years, this credit with Amex has had loopholes and they've known about the loopholes. I mean, I can remember 12, 13 years ago being on Flyer Talk, talking about how to cash in your platinum incidental credit, and people were doing it. And, oh, it's going to die. Don't share that information. American Express has known about all this forever. It's not like it's been a secret to them. It's just they hadn't decided to stop it, or they decided to enforce it in different ways. And, I think it was just a matter of time before at some point they said, hey, this is costing us too much. How can we force more breakage? Because their entire business model lately is about forcing breakage.
But it's crazy. Like they've jacked up. That was back when this started. What was it, like $450 a year? We're at like $900 a year now. I think you should just let it be. Like the amount of people of platinum card holders that are probably using it in this way purposefully. I'm sure there's been times where people book an award flight and don't think about it, and it happens, and they're like, oh, okay. But purposely is probably a small percentage of their users. So just let it be. I don't understand. Or let's make it the credit like the Aspire, where it's a $50 quarterly. You can do it for any airfare type of purchase and it works. There's still breakage built in because people are going to forget from quarter to quarter. It's not once a year. Like, be somewhat decent.
Or just make it a travel credit, which they're never going to do.
Yeah, right.
But when that started, there wasn't other big travel credits. Other credit cards have done it. Sapphire Reserve made it so
Yeah.
easy. They're not the only ones. So it's, this whole idea of this crazy restricted incidental credit started before the industry sort of evolved. But as you're pointing out, I mean, this isn't even the same card to be talking about the $450 version, because there's so much more that they added. And I don't know that it's a good thing that they did, but they just added so much more complexity. It's interesting because they have to have the data on what the breakage is, because this has been around for so long that, I wonder what that number is. Like, what percentage of that $200 credit is redeemed by customers? I would say it's under 50%, even with all these tricks.
Yeah, and they're probably going to capture a little bit more, but all these people that knew about this stuff are just going to figure out another way to do it. Like you're playing cat and mouse with people that are going to make sure they use the credit, even if they have to buy champagne on board or whatever they need to do. They're going to maximize it because that's the type of people they are. So why are you worried about them? Just move on to something else, and it's kind of annoying. And like you said, just make it like you somewhat user friendly. You have breakage everywhere else. Saks is has been such a horrible partner for so long. I'm sure that breakage was high, and this is the one that they probably have to come out of pocket for fully. So maybe that's why they're focusing on it. Where I'm assuming all the other co-branded stuff like Lululemon, Saks, and things like that, Dell, they're getting either it discounted or maybe that company's paying the full freight of it, whatever it be. They're getting a deal where I think these incidental credits are probably coming straight out of their annual fees.
Well, in a minute, we have another American Express story, a good one to talk about. But before we do that, I'd love to invite you guys to subscribe. We are past 5,000 subscribers. We more viewers. Want to welcome all of our Vegas viewers over. The shows have been going great. Help us reach 10,000. Hit the subscribe button. See all of our travels, all the miles and points news. Thank you guys so much in advance.
What if we get to 100,000 here before we do it in Vegas?
I'll take it. I'll take it. Well, one thing we like to talk about, we have some money saving offers to talk about from people. Before we go into the Amex thing, starting with this Spruce Money, one interesting thing we've been covering for years and years and years is the fintech space. And there's a lot of there's a lot of providers that just come and go, quite honestly, and they often get very good funding, good marketing budgets to start. And I don't know if that's the case with this one, but Spruce is offering $100 for signing up and getting a $200 direct deposit and activating your card. So very, very easy to do. And there's ways to trigger this direct deposit. And we're going to cover more of these deals because it's just a fairly easy, I don't know, low-hanging fruit thing to do. We do have a personal referral link, so it's not like an affiliate relationship or anything. But yeah, we like to cover these when they make sense. And I think we both signed up already.
Yeah, I signed up. My wife signed up. And that's the cool thing. Like if you sign up, you have to have a referral to get the $100 bonus. So if you use ours, thank you for that. But once you have that, then you can create your own referral, and then you can give it to your spouse or significant other or kids or parents or whoever, and you'll get $100 for referring them, and then they get $100 for doing the direct deposit. And I think you have to activate the debit card. So yeah, like you said, very easy. We don't know for sure what works because it's such a new program, if there's other ways, but normally like these types of things pushing from other banks triggers it. Luckily my wife has an easy deposit thing that we can just add it, and we already got the $200 in each one this Friday. So that was nice. Actually it came on Wednesday, early deposit. I don't know if that's some program they have or what, but so get that bonus. Maybe the perks of the account or whatever work for you long term. That's cool. If it does, you can keep it and roll that way. And I think the one that was most successful of all this is years and years ago, we had the SoFi one, the SoFi Money, which was like, what was it, $50? And you didn't really have to do much. You had to put $25 in your account or something. And that one we started covering it, and then everybody covered it, went gangbusters. And now SoFi is this huge company with a name on the side of a stadium.
Yeah, so there you go. We made SoFi all here
Yes.
on Miles to Memories. They were nothing without us. Take advantage of this stuff. You do get 1099s at the end of the year, like interest income. So keep that in mind. Mark has written in the past, and I'm sure he'll continue to write his sort of like strategy post where you talk about all the bank bonuses and what you're continuing to do. And that's part of this, is picking up these sort of easy offers where you don't have to do a lot of, jumping through hoops, a lot of crazy things. You just set up this one-time payment, activate the debit card, That's good. Another offer that we have to talk about is Melio. Now, we covered this on the Bermuda show as an ad, so we just did a very quick talk about it. We do have an affiliate relationship with them, and because of that, we have negotiated something. So if you use this link, this is our offer with our link, but we wanted to kind of explain it a little bit more and have a longer segment. So this isn't sponsored. They didn't tell us to put this on there. We actually think this is a really good deal. And basically, if you're a business, Melio is a business to business payment service, and they're offering a really good deal through our affiliate link, which is, again, low hanging fruit, we think. And, Mark has a lot of experience with Melio using them, and the payment service, always very easy, right?
Yeah, and it's set up. If you've used plastic, it's a similar type of setup to plastic. It's just focused on business owners and businesses sending money to pay bills for other businesses. And the cool thing about this for our space is it allows you to make payments that you maybe couldn't have made with a credit card and still earn credit card points for that. They'll mail a check or do an ACH push for you on your behalf to make the payment, or you can do, and there is a 2.9% fee, and that's just covering their swipe fees. So if you are doing the payment where you're incurring the fee, you want to use a card that has a sign up bonus or something that earns more than 2.9% on non bonus spend, something that has a long term spending goal like a Hyatt free night cert where you earn the 1x Hyatt points and then you earn the free night cert. Maybe that's worth more than 2.9% to you, stuff like that. So you just figure that out. But with this new bonus, you get a $200 cash back to you for making your first $500 plus payment. So that covers the fee if you're using a credit card. You can use your ACH bank. You can do 5 of those free a month if you use the no fee plan. And then you can get that $200 for making a payment, just pushing money from your bank account. So there's a lot of options here. I use it for things like the water department doesn't take credit cards, so I mail the bill out there, and it's quick, easy. I don't have to go drop it off. I just punch it in, it mails it out. Same with a lawn care person, doesn't take credit cards. Once a month, sends me the bill. I punch it in a couple seconds, it mails it out. So I'd pay the fee even just for simplicity. I hate writing out stuff, buying stamps, all that crap. They take care of all of it for you.
Yeah, I mean, we've been working with them too. That we've had a link from them from various stuff for a while, so they've been around a decent amount of time. And another way to look at this too, let's say you're just the most simplest player of this game, and you have want to get a credit card with a $3,000 spending requirement. Well, now you can do that. You pay the fee, you still come out ahead with the $200 offer. So you just have to make a $500 payment to get the $200 offer through our link. So there's a lot of different aspects. We do think, like, for businesses long term, this is actually a pretty good service. Mark continues to use it as he says. And yeah, so I mean, we're happy to bring this offer to you. It is an affiliate offer. This segment wasn't sponsored. They didn't tell us to do a whole segment on it. We actually just know a lot of people who have used it, and we see this as a good opportunity to grab the money. And this stuff starts to add up when you start doing these offers and deals and bank bonuses. You start to talk about thousands of dollars a year. Many people are even doing more than that when you start to do it. So even if you just want to use it for your travel, or if you're like Vegas and you want to get one fancy dinner, there you go.
Yeah, and we should say this won't work for financial payments, so you can't pay like a mortgage, you can't pay your credit card, things like that. Should work for taxes or association dues, any type of inventory bill. And another perk of this, if you normally have to pay for your inventory in cash, you can put it on your credit card. You get an extra 30 days. So let's say you can push it out to 60 days before you have to make that payment, and that could be really huge cash crunch for businesses at certain times of the year. So there's like all these different functionalities of it that you can really use this program for outside of earning miles and points running your business. So we appreciate everybody that uses the link to sign up. It's well worth it. Should take you a couple minutes. I'm sure everybody has a bill out there that's $500 that you could pay and just send it out and get your money.
Yeah, we'll put a link down to our affiliate link in the description, but also to your post where you explain the entire thing more in depth, so people can say, is this worth it for us? What are you using it for? What are the different plans and services and all that sort of stuff? We have a full article for you guys to check out as well. So all those links will be down in the description. But let's close with this, Mark. Amex, more news, and this comes from Reddit. You know, we always get excited when things come from Reddit, but that also means that this is far from confirmed. But somebody posted on Reddit that CSR at American Express indicated that the 5 card limit is going away or has gone away. and that they're going to base your approval on how, on whether you should be approved or not. And then if you get denied based on the number of cards you do have, that it would show on your denial. And this sort of seems like they're evolving their underwriting process a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what to take this one. I'm a little bit skeptical here. We know frontline reps are not the most dependable in terms of what they know, what they don't know. It could be somebody just making stuff up on the spot. We've seen that before. But I think this would make sense for American Express. And even with the 5-card limit, we've seen some people get 6 cards. So that it's not like fast and true. And I think a lot of the banks, we've seen this with Chase, with Sapphire Preferred and Sapphire Reserve, the Sapphire rules. It's kind of like you may be eligible. You may be able to do that. You might not. We're going to decide on our internal algorithm when you apply if you're a worthy customer or not. So I think that this I could see this maturing in that way where it's, yeah, I mean, most people probably have a 5-card cap, but hey, if you're a good customer, you spend a lot, you can get 6, maybe 7. So I would just say, if you're at the cap, apply. If you get denied, don't close the card proactively. Wait to see if you get denied. If you get denied, call in, close the card, have them rerun it, and then you're good to go. And they usually can approve you after that. Maybe it'll take a couple days. If you're at 6 already, try for 7, see what happens, and then go back and close the card. That's what I would take this as.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they apply and then they get denied because they're at the limit, and then they call and they get the card anyway. And so that's just showing you that American Express is probably seeing their internal data that they're already giving these cards away anyway. The people are getting them, and maybe it's better. I think that they're really worried about the overall exposure on your credit lines. And certainly American Express, a lot of people don't know, the financial review is something that people are always wary of. But I've noticed over the years, when you look at your credit report, you can look at how often companies you do business with are looking at your credit. And I think American Express checks my credit more than any other bank I do business with. So I think that they're looking closer at their customers too than others are. And that's why they don't have to run a credit report on you when you apply for a card if you're already a customer. And so they probably already have a good idea here, and they probably realized, hey, like, these people who are constantly hitting this limit are generally people that we want to give these cards to. I don't know, but I think that whole rumor on Reddit, it seems too detailed. So for a rep to have that knowledge, it's either true or the person who posted it just made it up and they know the space and they made it sound good.
Yeah, we're talking. What was the big fraud? The Hyatt card, premium card 2.0. Like somebody's doing another college class.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of clever people in this world, but yeah, there's a lot of people who know, right? And so when you see something that you're like, oh, a rep doesn't usually talk about, for a rep to be publicly saying that, because that's another thing is, yes, we learn about these rules, like the 524 rule, but I don't think Chase has ever publicly, or at least not for years after they implemented, said they have it. These are their internal underwriting processes. They don't want the public to know this stuff. And, because of the fandom and the internet and all that, we do sometimes, or we reverse engineer data points like with the American Express credit. But it doesn't, like you said, maybe they have this internally for 90% of people, but they want that extra 10. This is just them making a change to their internal stuff. And because we're all so nerdy about it, we find out.
No, they have actually confirmed it in the past, because I got them to confirm it on Twitter and wrote an article about it. Don't you remember? And then TPG wrote it, didn't give us any credit, and just said a random user on Twitter. Yeah. with my name on the tweet and like a picture of my so it's been confirmed.
Okay. That's true. So by a random Twitter user who also co-hosts the show.
I should have changed my Twitter name to that day. A random Twitter user right there.
Yeah, well, you hit your peak that day. That was the peak of your celebrity. Was that day confirming the 5-card limit. Yeah, I think this is going to go away. I'd love to hear what people think. I mean, I think this kind of shows you that this game never stays the same. In 1 week, you have 3 different changes or potential changes with American Express, and people watching them like a hawk. And this bank is, I don't know, even though Chase gets so much clout, I mean, I feel like, especially in this space, Amex is so much of what everybody focuses on.
Yeah, I think they just have more cards than everybody else, bigger offers than everybody else, and they have more options than everybody else. So there's more dips into that well, and I think Amex will always be beloved because of that.
So let us know what you guys think. Are you excited about the new referral rules? Do you have any data points to add on the Delta stuff? What are you doing with your incidental credits these days? And then are you planning to go 8, 9, 10, 12? How many cards will American Express give you? Leave a comment down below. We do 2 shows a week. Tuesdays is our travel show. Thursdays, miles and points stuff. 3 days a week over on Vegas if you're into that stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Lots of stuff. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.